Preset.
Spike.
Blocking.
Off book.
Auditions.
Monologue.
Wings.
Browse.
Script. Curtains.
Sits pro.
Soliloquy.
Spotlight.
Downstage.
Stage right.
Stage left.
Mezzanine.
Orchestra.
Spotlight.
Callback. Preset.
Rehearsal.
Proscenium.
Soliloquy.
You're not supposed to say Macbeth in the theater. It's a very serious superstition that everybody takes very literally. I've never been too superstitious, but I do follow it because I do not want to curse our show. Blocking.
Off book.
Monologue.
Wings.
Audition.
Curtains.
Saying break a leg instead of good luck. I've heard a lot of theories on why you say that, but I like the one where it says in the 1800s, in like vaudeville days, they would have as many acts as they could to fill the playbill, but not every act would go on. So if you went on, you would be breaking the leg line of the proscenium, and that way you get paid. And then it became a good luck expression.
Something appealing, something appalling, something for everyone, a comedy tonight. Something familiar, something peculiar, something for everyone, a comedy tonight. Nothing with gods, nothing with fate. Weighty affairs will just have to wait. Nothing that's formal, nothing that's normal. Recitations to recite. Tragedy tomorrow, comedy tonight.
My first theater experience was with Pee Wee Summer Theater in 2013 for the show of Les Miserables, and I played the role of Gavroche.
Beauty and the Beast. I played a spoon, a narrator, and a villager.
Guys and Dolls, if you don't count the the fall play.
Annie. And I was FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
High School Musical the Musical, where I played Ripper.
High School Musical Junior. I was in the ensemble, and it was the summer before 5th grade.
High School Musical Junior. I was Ryan Evans.
Shrek Jr. I played the role of the ugly duckling.
Aladdin Jr. at PVST. I was 9 years old going into 5th grade, and I played the magic carpet, which was a fun part.
My first show experience was Seasicle Jr. when I was in 7th grade, and I was in the very fabulous featured ensemble, which consisted of playing a Who in Whoville. I was a surfer in one song, I was a hunter, I was a circus performer, and I also got to play the elephant bird that hatches out of the egg at the end of the show.
My first show experience was with the Nutcracker. I played multiple roles, throughout the years, but my first role I ever played was the Party Boy, and that was for that 1 year, and I played it for 2 or 4 shows.
The Lion King Jr. at the middle school in my town. The role that I received when auditioning for the show was ensemble. This included being a zebra, grass, lioness, and Simba's consciousness, stopping him from abandoning his home.
I was playing young Eponine and a featured member of the ensemble in Les Miserables when I was, I believe I was in 4th grade.
Now, the first show that I was in was The Lion King, the kids version.
Annie. I actually got Molly, and I was super excited because I didn't expect to get a main role or even get a callback.
The Wizard of Oz, I would always be singing, or I'd just make up some gibberish, and you could probably find videos of my gibberish in my garage.
When I was in preschool, we had this loft in our room that we would all learn in and everything. Now during playtime or recess or nap time or whatever, I'd go up there and I'd sing for everybody. I'd stand on the loft and I'd just sing opera. I don't, not opera because I was like 5.
I've always been involved in music my entire life. I've been in choirs, I play guitar, and I've always sang. but I was terrified to do solo performances. It wasn't until I was in 7th grade and my school was holding their first annual talent show that my friends pulled me into the main office, and I was face to face with my superintendent, my principal, my music teacher, and obviously my best friends. So I couldn't say no. So I signed up and I performed, and I realized it wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be.
Now, because I was entering 4th grade at the time, I was really nervous because most of the cast were in high school and also the cast and crew consisted of adults. So I was really nervous that I wouldn't fit in.
I was super nervous, but also really excited.
My first show, I have to admit that learning lines was not easy. At first, I didn't know what to do. I was kind of scared and I was kind of sad. But my director, who's such an incredible director, she came over to me and said, "Hey, you're doing a great job. Just don't worry. I know you did some mistakes, but just keep going, keep your head high, and focus on the task ahead of you."
Obviously, I was terrified because everyone around me, this was not their first show. I was the little newbie. Like, I had no idea what I was doing. I'd never danced before. I've never acted before. And ask anybody, I really can't dance, but I can pass. I'd like to say I can pass. Every day, just go along dawn till sundown. Here's the rundown. Every day that comes once in a lifetime. Take each day and gather the rosebuds in it. Fill each minute. Every day that comes once in a lifetime. Think of now. Tomorrow is waiting in the wings. Who knows what it brings? While the future waits, the present swings from day to day. In Brooklyn or China, across the bay. Only once in a lifetime a day goes by. So live, live, live today. I just caught a bug for being in theater because I enjoyed being with a group of people who were very, very different from one another, but at the same time they shared a common interest and a common goal to put on a production for an audience and just express themselves and share their love of music.
And I knew this was something that I wanted to pursue because of how much I loved to sing and how much I loved the acting and just being a part of the show in general.
I knew that this was something I wanted to be involved in because I've always enjoyed acting, dancing, and singing.
I was very young. I was kind of inexperienced, so I didn't know too much. So it was just fun to make a lot of mistakes and learn from everything.
And the show was a little bit of a train wreck, but it made me realize that theater was something that I could look into and have fun with.
And that was kind of like my theater awakening.
It was my first show. I was just like, wow, this is something that I really love doing because it was so cool to work with people and to work towards this big goal of just putting on a show and working really hard because you had a limited amount of time. It was just a super cool, fun experience.
And I always remember, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. And that was the first line that I ever remembered. And I remember it to this day because it's such a sentimental thing.
Putting the show together was so much fun, and once it was over, I realized that this is something that maybe I would want to do next year and that I would want to continue doing and that maybe I'm good at.
I enjoy being the center of attention, as my dad always say. I like the attention. I like being in front of a lot of people. I like entertaining for people. And I thought it would be fun to dance, this stuff, that stuff.
What was really nice and comforting was that everyone was really welcoming with such open arms, making me feel like I belonged.
Footprints on the sand, ripples on the river, wispy drifting clouds that blow across the desert sky. One day we are here, and the next we vanish in the blink of an ibis eye. It's not that I want glory or the world to know my name, but maybe just to leave things a little changed from when I came. 'Cause all I am is footprints on the sand, ripples on the river, echoes of a sound from a distant fading chime. One day we are here, next I know we vanish, but I'm a fool, and so I like to fool myself that I'm not just footprints on the sand, but someone who'll leave footprints on the sands of time. My dream role is the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. I'm a big sucker for Disney. I love Disney very much.
So I have a lot of dream roles, actually. I've been making a list over time for my entire life. One of my biggest dream roles was Mary in Mary Poppins, which I actually got to play in 7th grade.
Bonnie from Bonnie and Clyde, because it is my favorite musical of all time.
Another dream role is Maria in West Side Story, which I know is a lot of people's dream roles. It's a very common thing.
Regina George in a production of Mean Girls the Musical.
Heather McNamara and Heather.
Heather Chandler from Heathers. And I know it's like, oh, you know, you could just gender bend it and it'd be easier, but I would love, love, love to do the show not gender bent.
I've also always wanted to play Sandy or Rizzo in Grease, like in a high school show or something.
Eliza from Hamilton. She's just my favorite character, and she's just like a great person in the musical.
Also, Little Women. I've always wanted to be in Little Women, play Jo, play one of the sisters, any of them. I love the book, the movie, the musical, obviously.
I don't really have any dream roles. I just want to see where my theater career takes me, and if I end up going with it, like, whatever happens, I'm fine with.
Samantha Brown in The Mad Ones, also known as the unauthorized biography of Samantha Brown. And I love her character and everything she goes through in the show, and I feel like I relate to her a lot and all of the songs she sings.
I didn't know how to love until you swept me away. But say the word and they just might listen. Say the word and you might get your way. Loving you should be easier, but say the word and I might have to stay.
If I had to pick, I think I would want to play Meg in Phantom of the Opera. I like Meg's part because she has a really nice point solo and she has some nice scenes with Christine, and I like her costume a lot.
My dream show is actually SpongeBob the musical. That might be babyish to some of you, but you know, personally, that's my favorite show ever.
I remember I very much enjoyed the movie and the show Mamma Mia. So I assume that if I want to be in the show, I may as well do that one.
My dream role would have to be Little Red Riding Hood in Into the Woods. I want to explore her character further and think it would help me improve as an actress.
I have a bunch of dream roles and dream shows that I would just love to be a part of, but one of the biggest ones is I would love to play Anya in Anastasia. It's such a beautiful score and a beautiful story, and I just think it's an incredible show, and I would love to play Anya and tell the story.
Sing me a happy song about robins in spring. Sing me a happy song with a happy ending. Some cheerful roundelay about catching the ring. Please keep it happy. Give me a up and shout. Tell me the sun is shining around the corner. Who's ever interested in helping me out? Just make it a happy, keep it a happy song.
So a show that means a lot to me is Parade. I did it 2 years ago. I played Iola Stover. It was one of my favorite shows that I've ever done. It means a lot to me. It was one of those theater experiences that sticks with you forever.
Hairspray. In Hairspray, I played one of the nicest kids in town. The show is very important to me because of the message it delivers. This is very important to me because I want to make a difference in this world for the better.
A musical that was very important to me was my musical Hairspray. I got casted as Amber, and I dedicated all my effort and all my time to that role. And unfortunately, due to coronavirus, it got canceled.
A theater overview. I think that's what they called it. And we would have done it, but Corona came in and it was like, yeah, great. We practiced so hard for it, and it was like a bunch of different musicals chopped up, and you put them in a nice salad and you perform it. So it was very fun, and it was a lot of dancing and a lot of hard work, and it would have been great to perform, but thanks Corona.
Where are my colored lights? Beans and bleachers and colored lights, passing smiles round and round, thumping and papa organ sounds, noisy boys long and lean, giggles of girls in the mezzanine, filtered through colored lights, red and orange and gold and amber and pink and yellow and green.
And my favorite movie to watch was The Wizard of Oz. I was obsessed with The Wizard of Oz. Everything I had was The Wizard of Oz. I had different versions of The Wizard of Oz, books and movies. I had Wizard of Oz dolls, Wizard of Oz lights, Wizard of Oz everything. I remember my parents would take videos of me singing or pretending, and they'd ask me, who do you want to marry? And I'd be like, the Tin Man! And of course, I was only 3, but yet again, I was obsessed with The Wizard of Oz.
Elf the musical. I was an ensemble character, but the show, it was my first show after transferring to Passaic Valley, and it really opened my eyes to how amazing compared to what I had done previously.
Aladdin Jr. This show was my first show, and it was also my most recent show. And the first time I played the magic carpet, and the last time I played Jasmine. And I just really love that show.
Footloose. It was a great show that I did with my classmates, and it was just such an important part of my life, and it helped me mature, and it helped me become the person that I am today.
I played Elle Woods in Legally Blonde Jr. at my middle school 8th grade year, and it's important to me because it was the first time I realized I can do this.
Legally Blonde. I was one of the Deltanews. It was my last show at my school with my sister, so it was really important to me. Evita, and I was in it last year. I didn't have a big part, I wasn't a lead, but the show was so powerful to be in.
A show that means a lot to me is Zombie Prom. I played Ginger, and that show is so meaningful to me because number one, it was my first real big role. This was kind of my first time playing a major character. It was a lot of fun to perform, and it'll always have a special place in my heart.
Some girls like to cook and sew. When I cook, it's in a show. I was born to entertain. Instead of walking, I go flapping. When I tap, I make it happen.
Auditions were always the part of theater that made me feel uneasy.
The audition process is really nerve-wracking.
At first, I didn't know if the director would allow young kids to audition for the role of Gavroche, and I remember how anxious I was as I waited to hear the decision.
Preparing for the audition process is usually very simple for me.
I began the process by choosing a piece of music with my vocal coach that will show my talent and challenge me at the same time.
With a 16 to 32 bar cut of a song.
That's in the style of the show that I'm auditioning for.
I'm lucky enough to have a voice teacher and an acting coach, so they help me
choose a song. Choosing a song is one of my big things. When it comes to choosing songs, I like doing songs that I very, very enjoy listening to and sing myself.
There's only 3 things I like to look for. 1, a song that fits my voice and what's needed for the role I'm auditioning for. 2, a song that allows me to display lots of emotion and range. And 3, a song that I'm passionate about and something that I don't hate.
Finding songs that are age appropriate and good for auditions is really hard, but you also can't spend your whole life singing "Never fully dressed without a smile."
I do a song that I'm very comfortable with.
Happy and pretty songs for my audition.
Something more relevant or something in the same category or genre as the show.
So that I am able to connect with the show and understand what the song is about. The second thing I like to prepare is a resume.
I don't have a resume. I just write down what I've been a part of.
I make sure everything is correct on the resume, that my age and all my personal information is correct.
And for the resume, what I do is I list all my theater shows that I've been in, and then I also list my special skills, accomplishments, awards, anything that's relevant to what I'm auditioning for or just theater in general.
I write the shows I've been a part of and the roles I've played in them, as well as my dance experience.
On my special skills list, I'd say I would be good at singing and a little bit of acting because I love acting and I love to sing.
I list that I've done karate.
For my headshot, I want to make sure that I look as nice as I can and that I smile big so they know that I am very happy.
It helps if you have a photographer in the family.
And I generally get that done every 1 to 2 years so that it's up to date.
I prepare for my audition by practicing at home and making sure that I get the notes right and I know what I'm doing.
Practice that for, a couple weeks, get really familiar with it, learn on piano with my mom because she helps me with all of my auditions.
And even my friends and family, they help me prepare if I need them.
I try to make sure that I sing well, and I usually do that by singing in the bathroom, but I don't do that anymore.
I had to practice it again and again, had to do this and that.
I worked on it for a couple of weeks until I was familiar with the melody. After I perfected the melody, I added in some strong acting choices to add more variety to my selection.
Look at a mirror, and I look at my face. I try to see what type of faces that I can do to help engage the audience, which is the directors.
A couple of days before, I made a folder containing my resume and headshot. I also made a binder with my piece marked up and laid out ready for the pianist.
Usually when you're in an audition, you should be wearing something pretty nice. Don't go in there wearing your sweats and don't wear something that's too bright and distracting.
When things are too appalling, it's worthwhile recalling. It's always darkest just before the dawn. That scarecrow at your window making faces in the night turns out to be a rose bush on your lawn. This optimistic saying, old maids keep crocheting, makes quite a useful motto one can pawn. So when you've sunk so low that even down resembles up, the cookie tin itself is overdrawn. Remember the prediction of the tea leaves in your cup. It's always darkest just before the dawn.
Another thing when you're in an audition is to just have fun with it. And I know that's something that a lot of people say, it's very cliche, but it's true.
Since I like to keep my voice rested, I usually just listen to my songs on repeat just to make sure I have the right pitch and the right lyrics down.
And if I crack, I crack. It's just how I deal with it and how I recover from it that matters.
After that, I just like to drink a lot of teas and build up my confidence so that when the time comes, I nail my audition.
So the first portion of the audition was the singing part. It was one person in a room at a time with the judges, and we sang a part of the song.
It's fun to be able to, show off your one-on-one talent and be able to see how you do, perform your best that you can.
They gave us each packets, I remember. We all came into audition. I was trying to audition for the role of Oliver.
My siblings and I arrived late and were one of the last people to audition, so I was able to catch a couple of kids' auditions. I remember saying to myself, how amazing! I walked into the auditorium, handed the pianist my cut and waited for it to start. I began to sing and my press support was not there, which made the song harder to sing, especially to hit the high note. When that part was over, I said to myself, I messed up.
I love the dancing and singing parts, but the acting part is not my strongest suit.
There was a group of people, because we were in groups, and one of us had to sit in front of the camera and read lines.
The dancing portion is the most fun for me.
The dancing, I'm not the best dancer, but I always have fun.
When the music started, my sister and I both looked at each other as if we were completely lost. I wasn't used to the tempo of the music and made the mistake of doubting myself right away.
The dancing portion is usually just like on the spot learning choreography, so I can't really help with that. When you think you've hit the bottom, when you're feeling really low, you mustn't feel discouraged. There's always one step further down you can go. When you're living on a park bench, eating grass cause you've no dough, your luck will change manana. You may be 6 feet under, helping it grow. So just remember, when you're lower than low, there's always one step further down. There's always one step further down. There's always one step further down. You can go.
Callbacks are great because you kind of get a second chance to show the casting team what you're made of.
Because I was like, oh my god, they like my audition, they like what I do, okay, that's good.
It's a process that I enjoy doing, but it's difficult because there's a lot of people that are going up against me, and those people are pretty strong and pretty confident.
I'm never really sure, if I did well, if I am right for the part that I'm hoping for. It's all nerve.
I usually think negative about myself. I just thought I wasn't going to get the part, or I wasn't going to get any part at all.
When the callback list came out and my name was not on it, I felt very upset. I didn't understand. Though your world may fall to pieces as your temperature increases, be determined never to give in. Though your bills may all need paying and your teeth are fast decaying, be determined, take it on the chin. The scene we should all be mining is the pot of gold with the silver lining. At the end of every tether, there's a spell of sunny weather. Be determined is the clue. If you'll only see it through, make my day, decide you'll play the game to win.
By far, my least favorite part of the entire auditioning process is waiting for the cast list to be posted, because it's so anxiety ridden and I'm so stressed out because this list is what's gonna make or break the next few months for me. Either I got a part or I didn't, or worse, either I got in or I didn't.
I just want to know what part I got, and I just want to know right now, and waiting a few weeks, it makes me all worked up.
Did I make it, or am I ensemble again, or did I even make the show?
After auditions, I hear there's this person who's been doing the theater for a long time now, and I guarantee he's gonna get the role.
Sometimes I get nervous, sometimes I don't. It depends on how popular and how big the theater is. If I ever audition for Broadway, I'd be super nervous.
If it's a hard theater production to get into and stuff like that, I can not sleep sometimes.
I was very nervous and very inexperienced on my auditions, so I got in.
Turns out that I was cut from the show, and my brother was in the ensemble. I was so happy to have the chance to watch him shine on stage.
Lo and behold, I found out that I got the lead role, Oliver.
I feel the overall process is thorough, efficient, and scary, but fun at the same time.
I think it's kind of fun because you get to kind of imagine yourself in all of these different roles.
In the end, it can leave you feeling very refreshed and excited to work with others.
Come follow the band wherever it's at. Let both of your feet time to the drum and let your heart go right to the tap. A flag in your hand, a plume in your hat, battalions of brass passing carrots in the light. Is there a light that's sweeter than that?
Rehearsal process is the main part of the whole show. It's how everything comes together.
Which is a very lengthy process.
Can always be very, very exciting.
A thrilling yet super insane experience to go through.
I was kind of shocked my first time seeing the theater. I was really amazed on how it looked, and I would actually be performing in front of probably hundreds of people there.
Rehearsal is my favorite part of doing a show.
My favorite part is probably being with all my friends and learning about the show.
The initial read through, because it's so magical. It's like we just got this script and we're reading it for the first time as a full cast, and you can see like these people are all so amazing and so perfect for the parts that they got, and it's so exciting, like we are about to do something amazing.
How I learn my lines, blocking, choreo, and music is by repetition.
Repetition. I don't do anything weird. I just run them over and over again.
I just learn them by going over them.
By being really focused in practice.
Saying my lines over and over again.
I like to learn my lines as soon as I get my part, so I can really be in full character.
I will read the script over and over or practice the scene over and over until I get it.
So that I can create some sort of muscle memory between the two, so I can coordinate what I'm saying to what I'm doing.
I memorize it, but after singing it so many times, I don't even have to look down and memorize it. It's already in my head.
I highlight my script like crazy. I like to color code certain things, which could be a little bright.
And make sure I highlight lines that are before me.
This means practicing what you learned at rehearsal, even in your home.
Being with my friends who aren't in the play, it's kind of fun for them to help me with my blocking and lines and everything.
Talking about, oh, what am I supposed to do here? What is my intent?
It's always fun to act as your character and like learn more about your character so you can act that way.
Same thing with dance and music. I'll just repeat the dance and the song over and over until it's memorized.
Tap, tap, leave a little something. Tap, tap, before you've gone. Shine your light, shine it bright, and that light just might go shining on. Yeah, tap, tap, do a little singing. Tap, tap, before you're gone. Learn to glow, then you can turn and go, 'cause you know that glow goes shining on.
Running through a whole show, remembering all of your lines, all of your singing parts, and all of your choreography takes a lot of hard work and dedication and a lot of time.
At the time we were practicing, there was a whole big dance scene and I was super excited to be there. I was smiling while I was dancing. So my director stopped everyone from what they were doing, and she said, can everyone stop and pay attention to Kaylin because she's smiling.
When Tech Week came up, I realized the time and effort put into a show and how it is a long but super beneficial process.
Tech Week is always stressful, with the enduring long hours.
Once you hit Tech Week, everything gets so much more frantic and everything gets so much more fun, but everything's going so much faster.
Tech Week can get crazy. It's super hard, and it was just an insane week, definitely.
Tech Week is definitely stressful a lot.
I was getting kind of nervous.
I've already been stressed out and everything's already been chaos. So by Tech Week, everyone's kind of finally on the same wavelength as me.
It is exciting to see all of the technical elements introduced along with whatever was done in the time of the rehearsal process.
Working to get down last minute lines that we haven't memorized, or just like usually just patching things up that need some help.
But also, it's so rewarding when everything kind of comes together and you get to see the lights and the costumes for the first time, and you're like, oh yeah, this is what it feels like, and it's so much fun.
And it just makes everything feel like it's coming together in a rehearsal.
Without a crowd being there to watch me. It really helps me get a feel for the show before the show actually happens.
You're doing this constantly on a daily basis, and it's like a family in a way.
I kind of like it because you get to be with your friends for a long time, and sometimes you can even like watch numbers that you're not in.
See the show really coming together and see all of our hard work and everything that we've done with a certain show.
And all that like stress and all that anxiety that I've had throughout the whole process turns into pure adrenaline, and it's like I get really excited because every day we're getting closer and closer to the actual performance.
And it just makes me happy to see that everything isn't gonna, spontaneously combust and everything's gonna go wrong.
The whole show being put together is so magical.
And you get to see the almost finished process, especially the final dress rehearsal.
Because everybody's revving up to the first show for opening night.
You've got so much excitement for the nights to come, but you're also just trying to enjoy the moments now.
And there's a lot of energy, and everybody's really, really hyper and excited and working really hard.
Final dress is the last day of Tech.
And it's just like the real show. Wow, this is what we worked for. We know what we're doing. And it was just, so cool to see because we were like in full cool costumes and like full blown hair, makeup, all of that.
Our one chance before we go on stage in front of a live audience full of, friends and family to really work out any kinks. The last place that any of that can be fixed.
I like when it's an invited dress because you kind of get like a taste of what's going to happen in the real show, but you don't have to worry if you have mistakes or anything.
What I love the most about rehearsal processes is being with people.
It allows you to become closer with everybody you know, and it lets you have a lot of fun with new people you can meet.
It's super fun to form friendships with people and bond over a mutual love of theater.
Going in every day, seeing all my friends and my fellow castmates and stage crew and just bringing a show to life and just all around just having fun. And, I personally believe without a good, stage crew, there wouldn't be a show.
Because it allows better chemistry on stage and overall makes the show even better.
I also don't like when people kind of get mean to stage crew. Not a big thing of that.
Sometimes they can be a little rude sometimes, but that's just life sometimes.
People talking backstage, I'm not a big fan of that.
I think working with the cast and production team is a magical experience. I love the thought of everybody pitching in to create an amazing outcome. Majority of the time, a lot of bonds are created and it feels like your second family.
And how there's that sense of trust and how you know what you're doing, they know what they're doing, and it's just kind of like this kind of bond, I guess one could say.
That you can be yourself, that you can be weird and different, and it's really a community of people who are just all here for the same reason, because we want to put on a good show.
If you believe within your heart, you know that no one can change the path that you must go. Believe what you feel and know you're right, because the time will come around when you say it's yours.
I have made so many amazing friends through theater, and all of my best friends are my theater friends.
The people I talk to and hang out with the most are the people who I've been in a show with.
I'm proud to say that I've made quite a few friends. Whether they're younger than me or whether they're older than me, we've just been able to connect based on a shared interest of music and art.
I was able to make so many friends, and it was my very first theater experience up there on the stage.
I've made long-lasting friendships with many of the cast members who I still keep in touch with. They welcomed me with open arms, which is so comforting to me.
I've definitely made lots of friendships beyond the closing of a show.
I have made about 5 to 10 friends because of theater.
And finding a group that I belong to, I think it was really easy because during pretty much all the shows I've been in, everyone, even if they already know each other, they've been so nice and welcoming.
Making friends is always something that is tricky and requires confidence.
The girls were kind of fun. I'd make them laugh because they would say stuff to me and I'd give it back at them.
I'm not a very shy person. I like to talk, so I'm not afraid to talk to new people.
Finding a group took me a very long time.
Making friends for me has always been awkward. I felt I was a very awkward person, yet outgoing at the same time. Through theater, I met my best friends. What the heck's wrong with expressing yourself, for being who you want to be? Who the heck isn't you trying to impress? All you have to do is learn to care less. Start a new fashion, buck all the trends, emphasize integrity. 'Cause what the heck is wrong with expressing yourself, for trying to be free? If you wanna be a dancer, dance. If you wanna be a miner, mine. If you wanna dress like somebody else, fine, fine, fine. Everyone is different, it's a natural state. It's a fact, it's plain to see. The world's crying up without making it worse. What we need is individuality. I was sitting with a bunch of people I had never met before. We started talking and we became best friends.
A strong bond with people in your cast is very important.
And even the bonds that I share with each cast throughout every show is just really special to me.
Building bonds with cast is really fun because, you know, you get to do so many quirky and cute things with them.
Yeah, we sort of hung out in between our little breaks.
You know, having snacks.
You guys can share tips or you can share experiences with theater.
Make each other laugh a bit.
Texting each other.
And having friends that you can talk to about theater, just besides school stuff.
Listening to shows and finding what the deeper meaning is.
Or doing things while teacher's not looking, because we all know in theater we all do that.
You know, you don't always have to agree with everyone and you don't have to like everyone, but if you don't have synergy or you don't work well together, that could really, it could destroy a show.
Sadly, that's just life. You're gonna have to work with people that you don't really want to work with.
And there have been people who I haven't enjoyed being around when I'm at rehearsal.
People are gonna be rude to you. People are gonna not treat you like they would treat themselves.
But we've been able to move past those differences and work together to put on a show.
Some of the best friends that I've ever made in theater was when I did Zombie Prom.
Over the summer, I was able to make a lot of friends. I was a doo-wop dancer, and all the other doo-wop dancers were so nice and welcoming.
I was such good friends with the entire cast of that show. We were such a close-knit cast. But a couple of standout people are definitely Noah, who I met at callbacks.
I was at the audition and then I saw this little blonde girl.
He kind of, if I remember it correctly, helped me through a bit of an anxiety attack I was having during callbacks. I was crying.
I saw this girl and she looked really nervous.
I was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing terrible. And he just kind of came over I will protect you.
So we got to talking. We became really close, really fast.
We became friends in maybe 5 seconds.
We were joined at the hip. We would talk about everything and we could tell each other anything.
I'm still really close with him today, and he is one of the best friends that I've ever made in theater.
and her is one of my closest friends. I'm so happy that I got to make a friend like her, because I feel like she's going to be one of my lifelong friends.
I mean, I've made so many amazing friends doing theater.
I am very happy that I have made the friends that I have.
I've made friends who I see only when I'm at school or during rehearsal.
And then I'll like not do a show with them for like 2 years, and then I'll see them in an audition. I'll be like, oh hey, nice to see you. Like we're doing a show together again.
And I really keep in touch with mostly everyone that I've been in a show with.
I met a lot of new friends, and we really had a great bond together.
Being in theater brought us closer together.
It's always nice to know how welcoming the community is.
Everyone is so open to everything.
And it allows you to meet people you never would have met otherwise.
Out of the ruins and rubble, out of the smoke, out of a night of struggle, can we see a ray of hope? One pale thin ray reaching for the day. We can build a beautiful city. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can build a beautiful city. Not a city of angels, but we can build a city of men. We may not reach the ending, but we can start slowly but truly mending, brick by brick, heart by heart. Now, maybe now we start learning how we can build a beautiful city. Yes, we can. Oh, yes, we can. We can build a beautiful city. Not a city of angels, but we can build a city of men.
Dance if it makes you happy. Dance if it makes you smile. The world will be sending you flowers. The world will be grinning from ear to ear. It's great to hear that tapping again.
think my favorite quote from a show has to be from the musical Heathers. It's spoken dialogue during a musical number. So Heather M says, "You have a symmetrical face. If I took a meat cleaver down the center of your skull, I would have matching halves. That's very important."
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me now in booing everyone's favorite evil, bitter Puritan lieutenant, Malvoliogo! From William Shakespeare's long-lost first play, Abridged. It was actually a line that I said as myself.
My good friend Ryan, and he played Mongo, and he just delivered this amazing, "What's that?" It was really fun to listen to, and we laughed every time.
Please, sir, can I have some more? So that line was from Oliver during the second or first scene after they sing "Food, glorious food," and I really like that being my first show ever.
I actually said in Shrek Jr., "Ooh, Fiona!" My favorite quote is "What makes us special" from Shrek.
And I played Gingy, and my favorite line that I said was, "Not my gumdrop buttons!"
My favorite quote would have to be, "You can't stop my happiness because I like the way I am." It is from Hairspray.
Judy Garland said, "We can be happy anywhere as long as we're together." She said that in Meet Me in St. Louis. It's nice to know that wherever you are, as long as you're surrounded by the people that you love and care about, you'll be happy.
The Broadway musical Waitress. It is when the character Jenna has just had her child, and she tells her husband, "If you come within 6 yards of me, I will flatten your sorry." I'm gonna say but. She doesn't say but that's just my favorite line.
"You matter to me" from Waitress. You know, it makes me feel like I matter. It's like one of those things that I feel like if anyone listens to it, they're gonna feel like they matter in the world. And that is always something that's very important to know.
On a wonderful day like today, I defy any cloud to appear in the sky. Dare any raindrop to plump in my eye. On a wonderful day like today, on a wonderful morning like this, when the sun is as big as a yellow balloon, even the sparrows are singing in tune. On a wonderful morning like this. My favorite place to sit in the house is front center.
One of the first few rows of the theater.
If I can, front row, because you're like right in the action.
Usually the first or second row, or anywhere closer to the front.
Closer to the front and in the middle because I'm nearsighted, so if I'm not close enough to the stage, I won't be able to see anything.
I think my favorite place to sit in the theater would have to be the third or fourth row from the front, right in the middle.
Third or fourth row orchestra seat.
Probably in the front, somewhere in the middle.
The third or fourth row. You can see everything. You're not too close, you're not too far. It's like just the perfect spot.
In the theater, I like to sit somewhere in the center, but not the first row.
In the front, in the middle.
The exact middle, so like Goldilocks. Not too hot or not too cold. Here it was not too high or not too low.
Usually in the middle row, in the orchestra.
The middle-ish row, and definitely in an aisle seat.
The center, a couple rows back, because you can see everything.
I prefer to sit in the right or left section towards the front, and the middle section towards the back. I usually like to see a show more than once, and in a different place to experience all the views.
How I hated phantoms down to each candelabra. I took a book along and read through Les Miserables. So keep your chorus lines, your gypsies and maims. I'd rather see a flick or bowl a few frames. I hate musicals, but I fear they're here to stay. Yes, I hate musicals, but not as much as I hate ballet.
Opening night is always very exciting, very nerve-wracking. We're all so nervous to get on the stage.
The overall energy of the cast, the crew, the audience who's there to see it for the first time.
I was a little bit nervous, but I was thinking like, you got this, you've done it.
After many months of hard hard work and memorizing lines, and a brutal week of adding new elements.
I just think everyone's so excited and happy and just ready and raring to go.
But we're all so excited to just show everybody what we've done.
But once opening night came around, we were prepared, it all went smoothly, and all of our hard work paid off.
Opening nights, while they are exciting, are also very nerve-wracking.
All of those nerves that you get leading up to the moment when you're like preparing and getting ready and going over your lines one last time, getting mic'd, whatever.
I'm usually not too nervous opening night. I'm more excited to present what everyone's been working so hard on.
Was I nervous? Not one bit. Put me on one of my ski hills during one of my ski races. Pretty much, yeah.
I get a lot of nerves on opening night sometimes. If I'm a little nervous, you know, I'll do like some breathing practices.
They do ma. And I do that till God's end.
I always like pray to God. Like I have to pray to God so I don't mess up and that I do everything right and I don't forget anything.
I would always help my friend Mallory out with her makeup, and one day when I was doing her eyeshadow, I took the brush and I went boop boop on her eye. Then every time after that I did her makeup, she was like, oh, and you can't forget to do the boop boops. Boop boop.
I just like to talk to everyone else and make sure they're feeling good and see if I can get everybody pumped up.
We do a show circle before the show to get the cast excited and energetic.
When you go in, you all hold hands and you're telling each other positive things before a show.
We do a chant all together and pass a pulse around the room.
The seniors say their speeches, reminisce and remind the cast of how far they all have gotten.
My favorite thing about opening night is being backstage and in the wings before the curtains open.
I get over the nerves just by like looking at everyone around me and seeing the energy in the audience waiting.
Because you're just worried that you're gonna make a mistake when you're out there.
Oh my gosh, I gotta make sure I go on stage at the right time. I gotta make sure that I stay in the wings, don't talk, don't move, just stay there.
I mean, waiting in the wings, it can be boring, but I mean, it's not like I can just, you know, wait on stage and just sit there.
And the show begins.
Stand by house to
And
house.
all of those nerves
house out.
turn into pure adrenaline
House to
and
house.
energy and excitement. The
Go.
second that overture starts, the second the curtain
Let's
goes
do
up,
house
You
out.
can feel the energy of the crowd.
And I
Go.
love to see the reaction for the first time because it's always like, well, they've never seen it before, and you know, it's like their first time seeing like our play.
And when you actually see a full audience there, it's completely different.
And you all just come together to create this piece of art.
When I finally got on stage to do my first scene, I was really scared, but hopefully I made it through the scene and through the entire end of the show.
Hearing the audience clapping their reactions, it makes the performers feel proud.
After the first show, I feel kind of relieved.
Wow, we did this. This is amazing. Like we did this. The audience loved it.
But after it's all over, I think you get a really satisfied feel. And you're really just relieved that you went out there and you tried your best.
Second, third show, it was almost same thing, Henry. Here we go.
The second show is where the actors plus actresses experiment much more with the material.
What can I do differently? What can I do better?
But during the second show, I think I had kind of a breakdown. I did the second show even better.
Memorable moments on stage, definitely in Shrek, the end when we did I'm a Believer. I think that just brought the whole show together because we all get to dance freely on stage.
I just really like when we're in like a group number and I look over at my friends and stuff.
So in 8th grade, I was in my middle school's production of Legally Blonde and I played Elle Woods. Towards the end of Act 1, there's this big number called So Much Better. It's a really huge number, and at the end of the song, there's this note that you're supposed to hold for 16 beats. My music directors and I decided that it would be the best idea for me to kind of head voice it and make it more breathy so that I can hold it for the most amount of time. So we did that for the first 2 nights of the show, and for the last night of the show, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be like Elle, I'm gonna strive for my goals, I'm gonna be the best I can be. So I asked my music directors and they were like, okay, whatever. So I did it, and I just remember being so proud of myself. I held it the whole time, and the whole cast was like, she really just did that. I've always been a smart girl, always made the grade, always got the gold star. I've always been a smart girl, but smart girl only gets a girl so far. You win at every single game, you want a quest, they tell you tough. If you don't go, you'll never know.
I shall find success today. Nothing can stop me now. Yesterday was yesterday. Nothing can stop me now. Now I know the future is mine to have. I'm hereby making a vow. From now on I'm gonna begin again. Stick out my chin again. Go in and win again. I'll make all my dreams come true before my final bow. Now my future's crystal clear. No more woe for me to fear. I'm gonna stand the world up on its ear. Nothing can stop me now. So I have forgotten a line on stage, and thankfully one of my friends knew the line and covered it for me.
Mistakes happen on stage, and I've forgotten a few lines.
I was doing a production of Wizard of Oz. Instead of staying in the story and saying, "Come on, Toto," I said, "Come on, Rosie." The dog's name was Rosie.
In 7th grade, when I was playing Reverend Shaw, the person who was playing my daughter, there was a scene where she was supposed to be in, and she wasn't there. I was kind of freaking out. Okay, what would Reverend Shaw do? And he would definitely take a phone call or something like that. He wants to spread important messages out to other people.
I remember this one time on opening night, and a scene was coming up where we had to not be wearing our boots. We were in our nightgowns, we were all getting ready to go to bed. Seconds before the curtain comes up, we look at each other and we're like, oh my god, we're wearing our boots. And they are super hard to get on and super hard to get off. We took these boots off in less than 3 seconds and got on the stage.
So when I was the elephant bird, before I appeared, I had to be crouched behind this 2 foot tall, 4 foot long chest, and then the Cat in the Hat comes up and drops the egg that Horton has been sitting on behind the chest, and I'm supposed to catch it. At our final dress rehearsal, I did not catch the egg. That when it hit the ground, it broke. By opening night, I was completely traumatized from that experience. And on opening night, when I was supposed to catch the egg, that I lifted my arm up in preparation to catch it, and the stage lights made my arm look completely white. Not that it's far off.
One time when I was in Into the Woods, I played Cinderella, and I went to go put my golden slipper on. It had Velcro on it, and I sliced my thumb open on stage, and I was just like, oops.
I played Mary in The Secret Garden. We had a scene where I was supposed to have a really, really big argument with my uncle. And in this scene, we're also supposed to do a stage slap. He's supposed to slap me across the face this time, which we had blocked in rehearsal and it was fine. So we get to that point and he ends up slapping me across the face because I stepped a little too close. And I broke the first rule of stage fighting. You're just supposed to stay an arm's length away.
One time I was in the hallway. I kind of fell, me being a klutz. What wound up happening was I couldn't put a lot of pressure on my knee. So this girl comes by and she played the Rafiki, one of them, because in the kids version there's 3. And she literally cared so much and she was so worried that she picked me straight up, literally Simba'd me to the nurse's office, and it was so nice and she didn't have to do that, and that just goes to show the kind of people that I was really kind of working with, and it was such a pleasure to work with them, and in the end we did put on a really good production. We spent our whole lives wishing we weren't so freaking strange. They made us feel that way, but it's that you need to change. Let your freak flag wave, let your freak flag fly. Never take it down, never take it down. Fight way up high. Let your freak flag fly, fly.
There was this one dance combo that we had to do, and we had to raise we were doing a kick line with a cane, and I had to raise the cane up above my head. And during rehearsal this one time, I nailed myself in the nose and I got this awful bloody nose. There's blood everywhere, all over the cane, all over the floor. Even though it wasn't during a show, it was just so embarrassing. I could have hit somebody else. it wouldn't have been good.
My favorite mistake ever has to be my friend in Legally Blonde lost his crutches in the bathroom and couldn't make it to stage. As Emmett, I had to turn around and point towards the internship list and say, there it is.
This year's holiday show, we had a scene where there was like a sword battle, and I completely forgot to bring one. And my friend had like a long plastic candy cane. I'm using it, and it just shatters in my hand.
Okay, so one mistake that I made on stage was probably Into the Woods. So what happened is that they brought a fake cow on stage, but during the actual performance, it wasn't there. So all of us had to improvise.
Zombie prom. There's a scene where we're all in like this news room. This character walks by with a stack of papers like this thick, and he's supposed to slip and drop them all on the floor. I don't know what went wrong, but he slipped and chucked the entire stack directly into my face. And then that proceeded to happen for the next 2 shows because he thought it was hysterical. I did not.
I was a part of a show called Stone Soup. I had the role of Mama Hughie, and she basically has like 24 children, and she has so much chaos going on in her life. I had babies on we had a costume with babies all over my arms. During my song, my main song, the baby I was cradling fell out and fell to the stage ground. And I picked up the baby and I started yelled at the kid after I dropped the kid. And I did get a laugh from the audience.
One of my biggest memorable moment.
And just to clarify, all of the babies were dolls.
Not too high. One of my biggest memorable moments, party boys would run out with these little instruments, drums. This time I had the cymbals, my favorite. So we were all running around, clang, 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 clang. Cymbals break. I had to go run, pick them up, run off the stage. Party girl's over there looking where I am, and I just, okay, great. Lay down the cymbals, run back over, and I start, but barely on time.
If you love me, let me hear your applause. We can make it to a brighter day. So fill a loving cup and keep your spirits up. It's double A-OK by me. If you love me, my song is yours. Let me hear your applause, yes sir. Let me hear your applause.
Closing night is bittersweet.
Always bittersweet.
Closing the show is always very sad and bittersweet.
Sad but happy at the same time.
But for me, it's a little more sad because you work so hard and then you have a few shows and it's all over.
This is the very last time I will ever perform with this exact cast of people. And that is just a really sad feeling.
It's the last show that you're gonna do with your family.
You still want to put on a wonderful performance for everyone who comes out to see your show, and
It is the last time everyone is able to make memories on the stage.
It's our last show. We gotta make it the most fun it could possibly be.
you want to close the show with a bang.
But we're all telling each other right before the show, don't cry, don't ruin your makeup, it's gonna be a good show.
I take 2 deep breaths. Okay, David, this is their last show.
So there's that one moment, usually in the finale, where you're all super happy and then you realize, oh my gosh, this is the last time.
And we all get nerves backstage.
Do we close the curtain?
As the curtains go down, oh, big music.
We did our final bow.
At the end, you're all, woo, hugging each other.
And in most of the shows I've been in, there's always tears when it's over.
Everyone was crying. Nobody wanted it to end.
I'm not a tearjerker type of guy, but I kind of shed a tear during my last show.
And I always cry on closing night, and I'm not ashamed to admit that.
I'd say goodbye to my friends. Like, yeah, I'll stay.
So fun coming out of your dressing room and
Not the word she'd hand me. Flowers or just a flower.
My friends and family's reactions are always so priceless.
I love hearing my parents or my friends' first reactions to how they liked the show.
I like to ask them what parts they like and what parts they didn't like.
Oh, did you see when this happened in the corner and that ensemble person over there was doing that and I was over here doing this?
We we have this thing called strike night.
Strike process can be a little hectic because, you know, we're taking down the set, you're ripping wood, and I'm tiny, I can't do that.
Putting all the props away.
We're hanging up our costumes. It's always a very sad thing.
And I kind of get sad at that point. I try to soak it up.
Ain't it sweet to smell the morning in a world washed fresh and clean? Now the storm has left its warning, and we see a hint of green. Pale gray lights grow strong and golden and release us from our pen, where we walked for endless days on a sea of endless grace. Now we sing a song of praise. Amen. Ain't it good? Oh, ain't it good to see the sun again?
My favorite tradition is going out to dinner after the show is over.
And have food and just hang out.
We usually have like parties.
It's always fun going to the cast party after.
And what's really special about the cast party is that this is one of the last times that the cast and crew are together.
Everyone is super excited, and we just talk about everything, and we bond.
You know, you've been working on this show for the past couple of months, and you got really close with all the people in it, and then it's just over.
So it's really nice just to have that last final bond with everyone and just have a good time.
Saying goodbye is really hard, but also we love to keep in contact and check up on each other.
Some of your friends you may not be able to see very often.
You know, saying goodbye to people who you may or may not see again because you're not sure, because they're either, you know, seniors going off to college, or they just did this show and it was like their one and only show that they ever will do.
Looking back on the experience, I just remember the most funny times, the best moments, the traditions that we would have.
Whenever I get the DVD for a show, I always, as soon as I get it, I always plug it into the DVD player and I watch it. I just sit on the couch and watch. Sometimes I even take videos and send them to my friends.
Staying with these people would change my life forever, and I'm so happy I did.
Never got to, you know, work with some people that way. Just all these people like working together to create this production.
Putting the show together was so much fun, and it made me realize how much I loved being on stage.
Like, I'll definitely do more shows.
And I cannot wait to see what we do next year.
And you'll get to see the friends you've made and the people you've learned things from again.
Even though it's sad to close a show and to say goodbye to this experience that you've held so near and dear to your heart for the past couple months, you know, you're always going to have another show and you're always going to make more friends.
Why are there so many songs about rainbows, and what's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, but only illusions, and rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it, and I know they're wrong. Wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. The only piece of memorabilia I kept from a show to my entire wardrobe. 3 different fedoras. I had, like, you know, basic shirts, basic pants, and I still have that somewhere. I don't remember it.
I've had to bring in my own costume pieces, which I then kept. So I will have a dress that I wore in a certain show, and whenever I wear it, I feel like, oh my gosh, I wore this on stage, I'm so happy.
I do try and keep a little something from every show. Usually if we have some type of paper or disposable props from Avita, I have a voting ticket that we used in the show, and everyone basically took one.
Or a cane or an umbrella. In this case, it's a cane. This is my favorite piece of memorabilia that I have because the story that goes along with it.
So my favorite piece of show memorabilia is this bracelet that I got from Zombie Prom. It says Ginger on it because I played Ginger, and so one of the other girls in the cast, Kelsey, made these bracelets for all of the female leads, and we got to wear them as part of our costumes in the actual show. And I wear this bracelet like almost every day, and it just reminds me of that show.
If I'm allowed to, I keep the scripts for my shows.
And the t-shirts. I just have a lot of memories on my phone. I love to take a lot of videos.
The photos that my parents and my family took of me and all my friends.
To just document the experience and look back on.
A DVD of the show. I always watch them from time to time. It makes me so happy.
I also like to keep all the playbills of all the shows I've ever been in.
With all of the cast information.
And have them signed by the cast.
This hat box, and usually in a show it's tradition to sign a playbill or a poster, but I decided I wanted everyone at dance to sign the hat box.
And I keep them all in a binder,
which I have in a little box in a secret spot.
I keep them mostly downstairs, like by the TV, so I can just plug them in.
And whenever I'm bored one day, or especially now, I like to just go through it and relive all the good memories.
Growing up was stifling cause I was never free. School is getting stale and I'm sick of this sorority. Think I need some distance, a place to disappear. So it's adios and away I come, and I'm kinda scared, but the moment's here to fly into the future. I'll be up in the sky soon as breath can take me and fly me into the future, where the freedom I find is gonna make me or break me. No restrictions, no relations, no ridiculous demands. So watch me fly into the future, watch me fly, and you'll see where I land.
I wish I was more confident in all of my shows, and I wish I wasn't as afraid to take risks and just go for it.
Just not be so nervous before getting on the stage, and to just breathe and have fun with it.
Be yourself. Sing in the bathroom. Who cares if you sing in the bathroom?
Be open, and you can go above and beyond.
Just go for your goals.
To keep trying and keep working to become better and achieve your dreams.
And every day this world can get better and better with music and dancing and singing and craziness.
Just let you know, you were too awesome when you were a kid. Way too awesome.
Keep trying to be yourself and don't be afraid to open up to people.
Never forget every moment that you do when it comes to theater, to always soak in the moments, to always experience them the best way.
Keep chasing my dreams and to prioritize what's important in my life. I hope that my future profession involves music, because I can't see myself sitting in a cubicle for 6 hours a day.
Theater is all about teamwork and a family coming together to create something amazing.
Some words of caution are to never give up, even if you are struggling. And theater is never easy.
Do not let other people tear you down.
I know it may seem scary at times, and you might not have anything to contribute, but just try to enter a conversation, make friends.
Stop worrying about what other people think about you.
Stop comparing yourself to other people.
You're who you are and you can't change who you are.
They've been taking voice lessons since before they could talk.
Do what makes you happy. And now I realize that this is what makes me happy, and that other people's opinions don't matter as much as what makes me happy.
Keep on singing in the bathroom because you know your voice is amazing, and I swear those girls washing their hands are like rocking out to you, and you know it.
I say be confident in yourself and be confident in your life decisions.
Go and be yourself.
You being here and being able to perform with all of these people is just proof that you are good enough, and you are just as hardworking as they are, and you are exactly who you need to be.
Remember that there's a lesson to every show, and there's a silver lining to every bad situation.
Stay true to yourself, no matter what anyone will ever tell you. You know who you are. Stay true to your morals and your values. You are beautiful. You are exactly who you're supposed to be. You are here for a reason. You just need to discover that for yourself.
We may not yet have reached our glory, but I will gladly join the fight. And when our children tell their story, they'll tell the story of tonight. They'll tell the story of tonight. Tonight.
Have you ever felt like nobody was there? Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like you could disappear? Like you could fall and no one would hear?
Well, let that lonely feeling wash away.
All we see is light.
'Cause maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay. 'Cause when you don't feel strong enough to stand, you can reach out your hand and hold.
Raise a glass to freedom, something they can never take away. No matter what they tell you,
someone will come running to take you home.
Raise a glass to all of us. Tomorrow there'll be more of us, telling the story of tonight.
Out of the shadows, the morning is breaking, and all is new.
All is new.
All is new.
It's only a matter of time. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and you'll rise again. If you only look around, you will be found. And when our children tell their story,
you will be found.
They'll tell the story of tonight.
Whoa.
No matter what they tell you,
tomorrow there'll be more of us,
telling the story of tonight. The story of tonight.